okay, one of the big stories on Saturday, people were excited about this one, especially hardcore fans of the sport, especially European fight fans. They were excited to finally see the Fire Kid compete inside the octagon. Tom Duquesnoy. Everyone's been talking about him. He's been killing it. BAMMA champion, finally comes over to the UFC, fights Patrick Williams, and he's as advertised. If you've been watching him in BAMMA, if you've been watching him for the last few years, you know that there's a reason why they call him the Fire Kid. The man brings it. No different on Saturday. Great win over Patrick Williams. He's joining us right now on the phone. Tom, are you there?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm here.
Ça va?
Yeah, tout va bien. Thanks for asking.
Yes, I appreciate.
Your French is getting good.
Well, j'ai oublié un peu. Il y a 16 ans que j'habite à Montréal, mais je peux parler un peu avec les Français. Je suis très excité d'avoir une autre fighter français dans le UFC.
Actually, you speak very good, so it's awesome.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Well, so as you probably know, a lot of people were very excited to finally see you in the UFC, and you've been thinking about this for a long time. I know back when you were 19, there was some talk of you joining the UFC, but you said thanks, but no thanks. Did this go as you expected it? You had a lot of time to dream about the debut. When you dreamt about it, did it unfold the way it did on Saturday?
Yeah, that was a mix between a dream who comes true because, as you know, MMA is a big part of my life since the age of 12, and already at the age of 15, my goal was to go to the UFC because at this age I was already like, okay, I could do something against that guy, you know. And so step by step, I was grinding and working to be at the highest level possible. And as you said, when you in the introduction, I don't refuse UFC at the age of 19, but I just say to the staff, let's do it a little bit later so I can bring you guys the best entertainment because my level would be even better than now. And I think it's a long-term vision, and that's the most important in that sport, which is still a new sport. You know, usually when you see the other discipline, the other sport, it's more structured, and they have plan into the different business, and that's kind of the thing that I have for MMA actually.
That's a very mature decision for a 19-year-old. Was that 100% your call to say thanks but no thanks to the UFC, or did someone else tell you to do that?
I felt that was the best because I was competing against international fighters, and I was seeing my level against them, and I always noticed that I wasn't that far away, you know. And I always think the thing that way, that 1 year ago I was 2 times less better, 2 years ago I was 4 times less better. So 1 year ago I will be 2 times better, and 2 years, you as good in mathematics as me. I will be 4 times better. So I always calculating things like that, and it works. But also I benefit of a lot of good people and nature and very good people around me who gives me a lot of good advice.
So this was obviously your debut, and you've had some big fights in BAMMA. You've fought for a belt, you've defended a belt, but to be fighting, in the United States, I believe for the first time, right?
First time.
Yeah, first time on Fox, debut, all the buzz. What did it feel like? Did it feel kind of like you were a teenager again, like you were making, your first fight, your first walk down to a cage or ring? Did you feel like a rookie? Did you feel more nervous? In hindsight, what did it feel like?
Yes, actually, I've been competing for 3 years only for main event when I was in Europe, and at that time I am on the prelim, so it's a little change, but it's good because I have to make my way to the top now, so it's I have to start by the first step, and that was the first step. And actually, that was on the co-main event of the prelim, which is pretty good for a first fight in UFC. And I thank UFC for this. And I felt very, very, very good just before the fight, because the fight week in the UFC is very professional. Everything is set, everything is fluent, and it's the best for us fighter, because we just want to be in a good state of mind when the fight is coming up, and that's what happened in the UFC. And actually, I felt more relaxed than usual.
Wow. Well, that is good to hear. I had some people tell me, the media was tweeting all about your fight leading up to it and then tweeting about it after the fact. And there were some people, even people in the fight game, who were saying to me like, oh, Patrick Williams got too tired. Oh, he tagged Tom early on, trying to sort of, not give you the credit that we were trying to give you. Were you happy with the fight, or is there some credence to what they were saying? Was that not the perfect Tom Duquesnoy fight?
We should give Patrick Williams more credit, because there is a true thing about him is that physically, I'm not sure his preparation is adapted for MMA, because after 3, 4, 5 minutes, he ran a little bit out of gas. But when you have to survive to those 3, 4, 5 minutes, because the guy is an athlete. He should have been like a sprinter or like doing the Olympics in the athletics, because when he go and put his fire on the ring, it's like on the cage in the octagon, it's like a crazy thing. He's very powerful, very explosive, high-level wrestler. When I was clinching him, I never felt someone that powerful in the clinch. And I used to fight in 70 kilos, in 155 and 145, and people who were like under drugs, under a lot of steroids and stuff back in Europe, because there is no USADA over there. And I know what a guy who is very strong and not naturally. And Patrick Williams, under the USADA, there is no problem. I know he's clean. And competing against someone who is that strong as Patrick Williams, without any drug and without any shortcut, it's kind of crazy. So actually, that was a really good test. And sometimes you have people on the. I don't think to them that much. You always have people they get frustrated and they say stuff and comments. But when I see the majority of the comments, either on Fox or either on my social medias, it's a lot of supporting. And even when the people criticize it, it's on a good way. It's in a good way, because I think that was a good fight. And to respond to your question, I think I did personally a good fight. Always a lot of stuff to work on, and the guidelines will be put into the new camp for the next time I will fight. But I'm really happy of my first fight in the UFC.
How come you don't follow anyone on Twitter?
It happened like 1 year ago, because I needed to feed. Actually, that was 1.5 years ago. I broke my hand during a fight, and the fight was really close actually. But I still won by decision. And at that time, I say, okay, now I'm done with the stuff. I want to use the social media, because I was passing too much time on it. So I just unfollow everybody. I don't have a personal Facebook account anymore. So I wanna keep things professional, because you pass so much time on the social media. Sometimes I think you understand me, because it's your work too.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason, actually.
Okay, and you feel better about it now? You feel like there's less distractions?
Yeah, I actually feel better. And, because you follow such a lot of media communities and entities on the internet. And the thing is that I'm the kind of person, when the camp starts, I'm like 500 person in my camp, but even too much, And when I go to chill a little bit on the internet, I just want to see something else than fighting. So I follow all the media stuff, etc. So I can do some of the stuff in life. My coach, the man of shadow, Borama Traoré from France, he's telling me this a lot. Don't forget. It's MMA, that's your life, you're going to do a lot of stuff, etc. But it's not only this, and you should use MMA. It's not MMA who has to use you, because it's a big thing. So just make your profit, do interesting partnership with the UFC, etc., and grow up together, and that's really the goal. That's why I'm going to play 100% the game with the UFC. But other than that, there is something else in life, so do something else, and that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm trying to do when I don't unfollow everything.
Speaking of doing something else, you're also a model, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to, at least. So I'm a part of this generation who grew up with the social media, especially Instagram. My Facebook is very good too. And the goal from the very beginning was to develop other careers besides MMA. And MMA is my main thing. It will be the thing, especially thanks to UFC, that I'm going to be on a big media platform. So I'm going to have a lot of opportunity. And in modeling is a part I want to develop too in my career, and maybe a little bit later, and even in parallel, I would like to be an actor too.
Oh, wow. And do you have any reservations, or do the people you talk to about modeling have reservations about the fact that you are a fighter, and not just a fighter, but like you tend to get into brawls at times? You know, you get hit at times, you dish it out. Your face is what will get you rich in modeling. So it's kind of, you know, I've talked to Alan Joban about this. It's a bit of a problem, right? They conflict, the two jobs.
It is actually, but there is a new generation of models, because in the classic model, I don't have any chance because my size is not the good one, the height, etc. So it's not that kind of modeling, but more modeling for different brand. A few months ago, I was doing a big campaign for Nikon Europe, and I was exploding like fruits all over the room for 4 hours. That was so funny. So kind of stuff like that, you know. So that's for the new technologies, the brands, MMA brands too. I like to work. I'm working a lot with a vegan brand in France, which is called Brenos, and it's that kind of stuff, you know, trying to opening more possible activities in my job, because I don't consider myself just as an MMA fighter, even if it's the main thing in my career, you know.
So you train in Albuquerque. You train, of course, with the Jackson Wink team. And then you also live in France. Do you live in Paris, or do you live outside of Paris?
So I've always been living in Paris, and it's been now 3 years that I back and forth in Jackson Wink for my camps. And actually, right now I signed with UFC a few months ago, and I want to be at the best level and continue to grow in that sport. And for this, I need to stay where I feel the best for my career, and it's Albuquerque. So the 3 last months before a fight, I stay in Albuquerque. I do the fight, and then I come back for Paris, maybe for 1 week or two, and I like to travel a little bit over the world, and then I come back to Albuquerque when it's time to get into the camp.
Is it weird to go from, like, you know, I mean, we're talking about one of the great metropolitan cities in the entire world, Paris, so much culture there. And there is culture, of course, in Albuquerque, but it's a completely different life there. I mean, it couldn't be two more different places. Is that strange for you at all?
I see it as an advantage. You know, Paris, and obviously you have the culture, the good food, and living at night. It's pretty crazy, and it's a wonderful city. Going to Albuquerque, it's very exciting for me too, because you have the highest level on earth. Also, you're not far from LA for all the medias and the professional activities too, and not far off Vegas, which is the place where the biggest card happens. So it's one of my goals too. So actually, in Albuquerque is not that bad, because you can take the plane and you're not far from the principal place on the West Coast, which is really interesting for the MMA development.
Sure. Why, by the way, did you choose Jackson Wink, and how did you end up there from France?
I originally did a trip on the West Coast for 2.5 months, and the goal of that trip was to find the best team for me and for the continuity of my MMA career. And I started to go to Vegas for 1 month. Then I went to Los Angeles, and so I did all of those amazing teams. And I finished my trip by 2 weeks in Albuquerque for Jackson Wink, because it's always has been a team that I've been joining when I was little.
Okay.
Because I was seeing all those high-level MMA fighters, Condit, John Jones, Holly Holm, etc. And what I liked about that team is that the style of the guy was continually evolving. Like they have their own style, but under the advice of Greg Jackson, they have a little more something like a kind of a point of differentiation, which is good, because if you can have your own style, which is your main force, plus something else, like a new touch, like a master touch of Greg Jackson, it's very good. So that's why I passed here like for 2 weeks, and then that was definitely the team I wanted to develop my career, because the guys are amazing here. The sparring are good, and there is a very good atmosphere.
There have been great French fighters in the past, but in my opinion, there's never been two kind of, I don't know if you want to call you guys prospects, but just like young, great fighters, with so much promise. There's never been a time like now when we consider you and Francis Ngannou, and it's amazing to me that still in France, the sport is illegal. Do you feel like your success and Francis's success in particular will finally open some eyes there, or is this a bigger issue that no one or two fighter can change by themselves?
At least I hope it will contribute, and I will be always there to help promote and develop and legalize the MMA in France. Pure professionally wise, it's very interesting for me, because if we do like a big UFC event in Paris, in Bercy, I'm sure I will make the place full, so it will be a good thing. And also, even if I'm training in USA right now, I don't forget where I come from. I don't forget where I met the good people, and it's from. So I get educated, and I develop my life and my career from zero to the age of 18, 19. Now I continue to develop myself in the US, because that's the business that's the best place to be. But that's one of the reasons I was wearing the double flag, either the French flag and the American flag. And it's a good thing you're talking to me about this subject today. Is that I have the French flag because I'm French. I come from France, and I want to represent my country, which is a normal thing. Actually. Yeah. And now MMA is banned in France. So the reason I wear the US flag is because I respect the country, which gives me the opportunity to develop my career by the UFC. So that's why I'm wearing the double flag. So I'm proud of my first country, but also as the country who received me and who allowed me to do my pleasure.
I know it's a complex issue, but is it essentially the Judo Federation that doesn't want to see the sport advance and maybe overtake them, that they're the ones stopping it? Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it's still in 90% of the reason why the MMA is still banned in France, that because of the lobby of the Judo Federation.
Wow.
The Judo Federation is the fourth sport in France, the first in combat sports. The people who heads the Judo Federation are really good friends of the people at the French Sports Ministry. So they do their own stuff very, very far from us, and they're kind of, this week, quid about the MMA. Oh, there is nothing for us still, so let's still make it banned and illegal for the moment. It's more like this. So we are all here like MMA, and I feel now MMA has a good image in France. It's no more the UFC like 25 years ago. It's done, and French people are aware about it. And the biggest problem still remains the Judo Federation, who wants to defend their own business, but they are scared about one thing, is that if MMA in France, because MMA is really big right now, and all the people wants to do it because that's the most efficient sport, they scared that they're gonna lose a lot of licenses. People will stop judo and go to MMA, and it will happen. Even a little bit. I don't know how much, but it will happen. But the real question is that even in the US, the Judo Federation is like half dead, and you have the UFC who gives them money so they can rebuild their federation, and it helps, So they don't understand one thing in France is that it's a winning. If MMA is here, we will still need to go to do boxing for MMA. We're gonna still need to go to do wrestling for MMA. We still need to go Savari and judo too, because judo, if you adapt it, it can be a really good plus for MMA. Even if I prefer personally wrestling, but judo can help MMA actually, so they can help each other out. So that's why they don't understand.
Crazy. There's an election next week in France, a presidential election. Are you going to vote?
Unfortunately, I won't be in France at that time, but I'm gonna to see it on TV for sure. And speaking of it, the election is maybe one of the solutions for the legalization of the MMA in France, because if the sports ministry people change, maybe it will be another vision for us. So it could help actually.
Okay, we will keep our eyes on that. Let me ask you this before I let you go, Tom. What do you say to the people who say, yeah, you're an exciting fighter, you knock people out, I mean, they don't call you the fire kid for nothing, you're just instant offense, but you do get hit a lot. What do you say to those people? Do you need to change your style a little more to not get hit as much?
Yeah, that's a true thing. You can't say like, yeah, I like you, but you can say, yeah, I like you, but I would like you to change this. No, you can't say that. It's true. So I give a lot of show. I give a lot of KO, and it's thanks to my explosive and unpredictable and aggressive style. Right. And so you can say like, yeah, but you take too much, punch, etc. Yeah, between us, that's a true thing, and that's stuff I'm gonna improve for sure. But when I take a punch is because I aggress, and when I aggress people, I mean in the octagon, that's why I put knockout. So you can't be like, yeah, it's good, but no. But I thank the audience for the advice. And the true thing is that I'm going to improve my style for the next fight. So I would hit people more and trying to get to still remain my face good for the modeling, as you were saying earlier.
And how far along in the division do you think you are right now? Like, do you want to get pushed? Do you want to fight a top guy? Do you want to get moved along slowly? What do you have in mind for your next fight?
I always want to develop my career considering where I feel, what I'm feeling right now, So now I'm feeling good. I'm not injured. I'm going to get some vacation, and then we will see who is the best opponent, who is available. I'm going to do the thing as I always did in my career, step by step, respecting the processes of getting more experience, more technical, more ready psychologically. I'm still 23, so I feel like I can improve my style, my physiques, and the different areas of the fight. So I'm gonna to do it as soon as I come back to the training, and you guys will know very soon who will be and where will be my next fight.
All right, Tom, I appreciate the time very much, especially after the win. Congrats on your first UFC win. It's great to finally see you inside the octagon. It was a lot of fun to watch. I thought you should have been a little higher up on the card, but nevertheless, you got that attention, that spotlight on Fox, and you certainly delivered, my friend. So congrats on the win. Enjoy it. And I appreciate you coming on, and I hope to talk to you again soon. It was great to talk to you for the first time. J'apprécie beaucoup l'opportunité de te parler aujourd'hui.
Merci beaucoup, mon ami.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Tom. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you for the interview. Bye.
All right. There he is. Tom Duquesnoy. Boy, my French sucks. I mean, it is really bad. Holy smokes. I mean, I could sort of hang, but it is in an embarrassing state at the moment.